In this new life, I returned to the moment the fire broke out. After entrusting our daughter to a neighbor, I rushed back into the flames. In the end, I dragged Viv out of the fire, covered in injuries. Seeing my husband frantically searching the crowd, I forced a smile. In this life, I owe you nothing. As I emerged from the fire, I spotted Lou Alex being held back by the crowd. He was frantic, shouting, "My sister-in-law is still inside. Hurry up and save her. Hurry up. Vivian must be so scared alone. Please go help her." Someone nearby reminded him the fire is already so intense. Going back in to save people is likely a one-way trip. Lou Alex seemed to be provoked by the phrase one-way trip and his emotions escalated further. "Aren't you firefighters supposed to do this? You're paid to take on this responsibility. Hurry up and save her." Lou Alex appeared to have lost his composure. He was willing to say anything to get someone to save Song Vivian. Someone nearby retorted, "Do firefighters' lives not matter? When we asked if there was anyone inside, why didn't you tell us immediately? Why wait until the fire was so big and it's hard to save anyone now?" I saw Lou Alex's eyes narrow sharply, and the emotion in his eyes turned to anger in an instant. It must be that woman Eleanor who hid it and didn't report it. I think this statement to some extent solidified Lou Alex's hatred toward me. Just like in my previous life, he stubbornly, almost obsessively believed that I had intentionally caused Song Vivian's death, letting her burn to death. In reality, I did not do it on purpose. In my previous life, I had no idea that Song Vivian was staying overnight at my house. It was Lou Alex who gave her the key without my knowledge, and Song Vivian happened to arrive when both my daughter and I were already asleep. No matter how much I tried to explain this to him in my previous life, he wouldn't listen. After all, Song Vivian had lost her life and her mistakes seemed insignificant in comparison. Because of this, he blamed her death on me. He blamed me for not checking the other rooms to see if anyone else was there when I escaped. Before Lou Alex could misunderstand me further, I shouted toward him, "I saved her. She's breathing. She's alive." Upon hearing my words, Lou Alex could no longer maintain his composure. He broke through the crowd and rushed toward me. Of course, his first priority wasn't me, but Song Vivian on my back. "Vivian, are you okay? Wake up. Don't scare me." Lou Alex's voice trembled and the worry on his face was something I had never seen before. The doctor who arrived made an initial assessment and determined that my injuries were severe, due to limited medical resources. They planned to send me to the ambulance first. Lou Alex immediately objected. He grabbed the doctor's arm and shouted angrily, "My sister-in-law relationship retained for context is unconscious and clearly in worse condition. Why are you prioritizing her over her?" The her referred to as obviously me. The doctor looked exasperated. "Are you the doctor or am I? Can I tell which of the two is in worse condition?" Lou Alex ignored him, disregarding everything, and rushed to carry Song Vivian onto the ambulance first. "Don't waste time. Hurry up and take my sister-in-law. Relationship retained for context. To the hospital. If anything happens to her, I'll never forgive you. Forget it. Let them go first. Another ambulance is on the way anyway." My tone was filled with resignation. The doctor sighed helplessly and asked me oddly as he left, "Is that man really your husband?" It didn't matter anymore. I didn't plan on keeping him anyway. I watched the ambulance drive away and forced a smile. "Lou, Alex, I've paid back the debt I owed you from my previous life. This lifetime we're even." In the days that followed, neighbor Maggie kept coming to the hospital to bring me meals. She was always a kind-hearted person, always willing to help her neighbors in times of need. When she entered the ward, she instinctively scanned the room and didn't see Lou Alex. She frowned in displeasure. "What's wrong with your husband? He's been hospitalized for so many days and hasn't come to visit even once." Instead, He's been running to his sister-in-law's ward all day. People who don't know might think they're the real couple. Anyone with eyes could see that Lou Alex was overly tense around me. Viv sang Vivian. Even more so than he was with me. This made people notice something fishy and off. Inevitably giving others something to talk about. But the tragic death of my previous life had made me deeply aware that anything involving Song Vivian could cause the usually calm and composed Lou Alex to lose his rationality and become obsessed and irrational. Having finally gotten a second chance at life, I dared not offend either of them. To prevent these words from spreading, I quickly explained to Maggie. My sister's injuries aren't as severe as mine, but surviving such an ordeal has left her mentally unstable. She's still in shock, and my husband is staying by her side, mainly to prevent her from harming herself. He was injured at my house, and his husband hasn't arrived yet. My husband naturally has to take on more responsibility and take good care of him. I appealed to her emotions and reasoned with her, and Maggie finally retracted her earlier words, then started complaining about Song Vivian's husband, saying he was unreliable. I responded half-heartedly, and as Maggie was about to leave, I reminded her, "Don't mention what you said earlier to anyone. It could easily lead to misunderstandings." Maggie immediately adopted a loyal expression. "Don't worry. I'll keep my mouth shut. I won't let a word slip out." I thought the matter was settled. But the rumors about Lou, Alex, and Song Vivian still spread. Early in the morning, just as I was about to feed my daughter breakfast, the ward door was suddenly pushed open. The noise was deafening. I frowned in annoyance. Before I could speak, my wrist was grabbed by Lou Alex. "Come with me." "What, can't wait? My daughter hasn't eaten breakfast yet." Lou Alex glanced at my daughter, who was staring longingly at the porridge in my bowl, and his expression softened slightly. He turned around, walked to the ward door, and called a nurse over to help. "Please feed my daughter some porridge." After the nurse agreed, Lou Alex grabbed my wrist forcefully, leaving no time for any reaction. He had a menacing expression on his face. This made me feel that something was about to happen. Sure enough, as soon as he pushed open the door to Song Vivian's ward, he ordered in a harsh tone, "Apologize to Vivian. Before you apologize, can you at least explain what happened? Thanks to my timely rescue, Song Vivian didn't suffer serious injuries. She only had carbon monoxide poisoning, which had already been treated by the time she arrived at the hospital. She was still in the hospital primarily for psychological trauma." Seeing my stubborn expression, Song Vivian began to cry. "What are people saying outside? Everyone is saying that my sister's husband's mistress is his lover. Are you going to keep pretending you don't know?" I truly had no knowledge of this matter. I was injured and needed treatment, and my daughter, who was not yet 2 years old, needed care. I had no spare time to pay attention to the gossip outside. Most of the time, I stayed in the hospital room. Song Vivian lowered her head and sobbed tearfully. "Sister, we're sisters. If you have any grievances against me, you can just say it directly. There's no need to hide it and then do these underhanded things behind my back. I never thought you'd be such a petty person." I risked my life to save her from the fire. Yet, Song Vivian has never once said thank you to me. Instead, she's accusing me based on unconfirmed rumors. In my previous life, I felt guilty and blamed myself for her accidental death in the fire. I even had nightmares hating myself for not checking the other rooms before running out. But now I see that Viv is nothing but an ungrateful, heartless person. "This has nothing to do with me," I retorted. "Besides, couldn't you have presented some evidence before accusing me? Stop trying to cover it up." Lou Alex shouted angrily at me. "The gossiping women in the neighborhood are always running to your hospital room. All those rumors and gossip. Who else would spread them? Yes. During my time in the hospital, I didn't give you or your daughter enough care and attention. But Vivian is your Viv. You can't just spread rumors about her out of jealousy. During my hospitalization, The main person who came to visit me was Maggie. She does like gossip. But she's not the type to spread rumors around. Besides, she had solemnly promised not to say anything. There must be a misunderstanding. I was about to explain what happened when Maggie came to visit me and the promise she made to me. Suddenly, there was extra weight on my shoulders and my knees buckled, forcing me to kneel down involuntarily. You've said enough. Why are you still trying to justify yourself? Lou. Alex sneered angrily. Since you're so stubborn, I'll have to force you to admit your mistake and apologize. Song Vivian looked understanding, shaking her head and waving her hands. Brother-in-law, if my sister doesn't want to admit her mistake, just let it go. Don't push her like this. Don't let this ruin your marital relationship. I'll swallow all the humiliation I've endured outside. Just talk to my sister nicely and stop arguing. Song Vivian lowered her head and wiped away tears, looking both reasonable and pitiable. Seeing this, Lou Alex felt even more heartbroken and insisted on forcing me to say the words, "I'm sorry." But I clenched my teeth and refused to say it. I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? I grabbed his hand and bit down hard. As he winced in pain, I got up from the ground and ran out of the ward. I couldn't let Lou Alex continue to misunderstand me. After returning to my own ward, I began investigating the source of these rumors. Meanwhile, Lou Alex had already started clearing his name at the hospital. His method was simple. He slandered me to make Song Vivian look pitiful. He blamed everything on me, even spreading rumors that I had bullied Viv at home, envied her, and done many terrible things to her. To support his claims, Lou Alex even blamed me for the accident that happened to Song Vivian. She's always been jealous of Viv. During the fire, she deliberately kept it a secret and didn't report it, nearly causing Viv to die in the flames. However, some people still had doubts about this. If she really wanted to kill Viv, why would she risk her life to save her? Isn't that contradictory? Lou Alex immediately sneered because her dirty, malicious intentions were exposed by me beforehand. She felt guilty and feared being blamed by others, becoming the target of everyone's criticism. So, she saved Viv out of sheer malice. I never expected that even after being reborn, I risked my life to save someone. In Lou Alex's heart, I'm still suspected of harming others. At that moment, I felt a chill run through my heart. Perhaps in his heart, I've always been a person with a wicked heart, while Song Vivian is the pure and innocent one he cherishes. I stood there in disbelief when suddenly a familiar voice came from behind me. Sister, what a coincidence. You're here, too. I turned around and saw Song Vivian's smiling face. My eyelids twitched, and I had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the next second, a clear handprint landed on the wall of the water room. Half of my face swelled up instantly, and the pain made me gasp for air. You're crazy. Why are you hitting me for no reason? No matter what, I'm still your sister and your savior. Song Vivian's ungrateful behavior truly enraged me. I raised my hand to strike back, but she grabbed it firmly. Eleanor, I treated you like a sister, but you tried to kill me. If it weren't for you in my previous life, I would have died in that fire. This life is just you paying back your debt from the last one. And you still dare to expect me to be grateful? Do you have any shame? Her words revealed a lot. So, you're reincarnated. Song Vivian smiled. Maybe heaven thought I died unfairly, so it gave me another chance. This time I'll take everything that belongs to you, including your man. What? Song. Vivian found a cup of water somewhere and poured it over her face. The next moment, she screamed. Sis, I was just speaking nicely to you. Why are you treating me like this? Her voice was high-pitched, clearly trying to attract attention from outside. Lou Alex reacted quickly and ran to the water room in no time. He stood protectively in front of Song Vivian. Eleanor. She's your Viv. How can you bully her like this time and time again? Song Vivian shrunk behind him. Her voice tinged with surrender. Maybe I didn't do something right and made my sister angry. I'll try to do better next time. Please don't get angry with her. Brother-in-law. Look at you, Viv. Look at yourself. What a scene you're making. I didn't. The evidence is clear and you're still trying to defend yourself. Lou Alex looked furious. You've really disappointed me. I won't be coming to see you for the next few days. Go reflect on your actions. He then grabbed Son Vivian's hand and walked out of the laundry room in big strides. At the door, onlookers whispered among themselves. The looks they gave me were filled with meaning and oddity, and accusing voices could be heard. How could an older sister be so cruel? No wonder her husband doesn't even bother with her. Can someone tell me how she got those handprints on her face? Who knows? Maybe she slapped herself. She's trying to frame Viv. That person has even thought about killing Viv. How could she be a good person? That's true. I covered my face and fled the scene in embarrassment. At the back of the crowd, I saw Song Vivian turn around and flash me a smug smile. I advise you to be sensible and divorce Lou Alex quickly. You can't beat me. Seeing the message she sent, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Where does Song Vivian get the confidence? How could I possibly want to hold on to someone who killed me and my daughter in a previous life? But since she believes that, I might as well play along. He's the man I've loved my whole life. Let me tell you, I won't give him up. Are you really that pathetic? You know, your husband has already set his heart on me. Yet you still cling to him like this. How can you say that? Love has no class. I simply love my husband. What's wrong with that? Song Vivian didn't send any more messages. But I knew she would take action. Sure enough, in the middle of the night, she sent me a photo of the two of them lying in bed together. Their faces pressed against each other. No matter how much you beg, it's useless. Your husband has already slept with me, loser. I smiled slightly and quickly saved the message she sent. I already had my own plan. This wasn't part of it, but hey. Free evidence is free evidence. Who knows? It might come in handy someday. Earlier, I had someone investigate the source of the rumors, and now I have the results. I sent all the evidence to Lou Alex. It's this little influencer who's been manipulating public opinion. She posted a video from the day of the fire. And the comments are speculating about our relationship. Probably because the discussion got too heated. The influencer wanted to satisfy the netizens' curiosity. So she secretly went to the hospital to investigate. Look at these comments below. There are a few people claiming to know the truth, spreading rumors that you and Vivian have been acting overly intimate lately. The videos she posted are quite popular and hospital staff have seen them. That's probably how the rumors spread. At that moment, Maggie stood up angrily and raised 3 fingers. Margaret, swear on my life that if I ever say anything bad about you outside, may I be struck by lightning. I mean it. The rumors at the hospital weren't spread by me. Don't slander me. If she wasn't truly upset, why would she make such a solemn vow out of nowhere? Lou Alex had already seen the evidence I sent. His eyes flickered, suddenly realizing he had misunderstood earlier. He opened his mouth but didn't know what to say. This was his awkward expression when he didn't know how to respond. I stepped forward to help defuse the situation. Maggie, I'm so sorry. My husband misunderstood you earlier. I'm apologizing on his behalf. I was polite and smiled apologetically. So Maggie didn't say anything else. She just left with a parting shot. Learn your lesson. Don't slander people so carelessly in the future. Then she walked away. Alex, let's go have a coffee. I have something to talk to you about. Alex agreed. As he was leaving, Song Vivian slipped a few sheets of A4 paper into his hand. Take care of this. 2. The slap mark on my face hadn't faded yet. Maybe because of the hospital stay. My complexion wasn't good. Looking pale. Seeing him staring at my face. I felt awkward and covered it with my hand. Don't look. It's ugly. Alex's eyes flashed with a moment of pity. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was all a misunderstanding. Those things before were planned by Vivian and me. I'm sorry for what I did to you. It's okay as long as the truth is out now. I looked at the man across from me sincerely. As long as you can still trust me. My face was filled with endless restraint and humility. I raised my hand, wanting to interlock my fingers with his. Alex, however, silently pushed my hand away. Ellie, there's something else I need to tell you. Don't say it. Please. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she looked like she was about to cry. She appeared extremely frightened and anxious. Alex sighed. Divorce is something that should be decided decisively. I can't hold you back and I can't drag Vivian down either. Are we really going to end up like this? A rare expression of guilt flashed across Alex's face. Ellie, I'm sorry. I've been secretly in love with Vivian since high school. I just can't let go of her. Now that she's finally willing to be with me, I can't possibly give up this opportunity. His tone was firm. It seemed he was truly deeply in love with Song Vivian. I lowered my head and bit my lip, looking utterly heartbroken. Alex, you're my first love. My feelings for you haven't changed over the years. And we have a child together. Alex must have guessed what I was about to say and quickly interrupted. Ellie, it's my fault. I know you want to keep me, but saying these things is pointless now. I hung my head and continued to sob. Our daughter isn't even 2 years old yet. Can you really bear to let her grow up without a father? Alex's face flushed with guilt. It's my fault. I haven't fulfilled my responsibilities as a good father. But you're still young and she's still young. After the divorce, you can go find a good man to marry. Is there nothing I can say to stop you? No. Alex's tone was firm. My tears fell like broken beads splashing down. Alex swallowed hard, perhaps afraid that my tears might harbor some storm. Don't make a scene. Let's part ways amicably while we still can. Wasting time in this will only hinder your future and your daughter's. All right. I won't cling to you anymore. Saying that, I snatched the agreement from Alex's hands. Didn't say a word, and picked up the pen to sign my name directly on it. I acted quickly, leaving Alex across from me speechless. You're just signing it. No more drama. Retaining you is pointless now. It's better to let you be happy sooner. At least this way, I'll leave a better impression in your heart. My tears flowed uncontrollably like a floodgate had opened. The words I had just signed were quickly smudged beyond recognition. Seeing me like this, Alex finally believed that I truly loved him enough to sacrifice my own happiness for his. A look of emotion flashed in his eyes as he snatched the agreement back from my hands. Are you that stupid? You didn't even read the terms of the agreement before signing it. Do you have any idea how much you're losing? I just shook my head, my face filled with resignation. As long as you're happy and get what you want, I don't mind losing a little. This agreement is useless now. I'll go back and draft a new one for you. The terms in this one are actually very unfavorable to you. I knew the agreement was unfavorable to me. God damn it. The property was split 90-10 with me getting 10 and him 90. How dare the cheating party make such a demand? That's why I acted that way earlier. I intentionally ruined the agreement. I sniffed and shook my head gently. You're right. When it comes to divorce, you have to be decisive. I'm afraid if you go back and give me time to hesitate, I'll end up unable to let you go and keep dragging this out. There's a computer at the front desk. We can print out a few more copies. Lou Alex had originally planned to go back and think it over carefully, especially the property division in the agreement. But seeing my sad expression, he suddenly felt that this matter couldn't be delayed any further and needed to be resolved quickly. So, he followed my advice and borrowed a computer from the front desk. My humility and vulnerability made Lou Alex feel an unprecedented sense of guilt. At the same time, the front desk staff kept glancing curiously at the computer screen. Driven by guilt and pride, Lou Alex acted impulsively, transferring all the property allocated to him into my name. It was essentially like he was leaving with nothing. Though tears still shimmered in my eyes, they obediently stayed from falling onto the agreement. Seeing I didn't hesitate, Lou Alex quickly signed the agreement as well. I carefully stored both documents and reluctantly bid farewell to Lou Alex. But as soon as I turned away, the corners of my lips couldn't help but curl upward. It was harder to suppress than AK. A man's sense of guilt has an expiration date. The sooner you take advantage of it, the better. All the restraint I've shown lately was just an act put on for his benefit. Our daughter is still young and she'll need a lot of money for her education. As a full-time mother with no income, I couldn't afford to make any concessions in the property division. The more money I could get, the better. Lou Alex is the kind of person who only responds to kindness, not harshness. My divorce from Lou Alex went smoothly, but Song Vivian's divorce from her husband Kevin is proving more complicated. Kevin's family runs a seafood business, and when Song Vivian married into the family, their financial situation was quite comfortable, and she was satisfied. However, in recent years, Kevin picked up a gambling habit after befriending the wrong crowd. Song Vivian tried everything: pleading, hitting, scolding, and causing a scene, but nothing worked. Kevin couldn't shake his gambling addiction. The family lost a lot of money because of it. And Song Vivian had long been fed up with him. Divorce was inevitable. It was just a matter of time. Perhaps feeling that she had endured too much hardship and injustice over the years, she refused to budge on the division of assets, insisting on taking the lion's share. Kevin, however, needed money for gambling and was unwilling to compromise. Without money, he couldn't continue gambling. The two remained deadlocked, neither willing to give in. When I heard that their divorce wasn't going smoothly, I suddenly remembered that I still had something Song Vivian had sent me on my phone. So, I found an email address and anonymously sent them to Kevin. With such evidence in hand, Song Vivian was at a disadvantage and dared not continue the standoff with Kevin, fearing he would expose the photos and ruin her reputation, leaving her with no face left. In the end, she had no choice but to agree to Kevin's demands and leave with nothing. Having lost the divorce and feeling humiliated, Song Vivian came to me angrily. "It must have been you who sent the photos to Kevin, right? You bastard. You just wanted to ruin me." She raised her hand to slap me, but Lou Alex quickly stopped her. "Vivian, calm down. There's no evidence yet. Don't slander someone without proof." Song Vivian couldn't believe it. Lou Alex didn't stand by her side like he used to, defending her. Besides this, her retaining the action reference from the context. Who else could it be? She just can't stand seeing me live better than her. If I really couldn't stand seeing you do better than me, I wouldn't have agreed to divorce Alex. Anyway, besides you, I can't think of anyone else who would want to harm me. Song Vivian struggled to free her hands. "Lou Alex, if you won't stand up for me, at least let go of my hands. I need to teach her a lesson myself." However, Lou Alex didn't comply as he had before. Instead, he squeezed her wrist even tighter to prevent her slap from landing on my face. "Don't act like a harpy. If you have proof that Ellie sent the photos, just show it." At the time, Song Vivian had sent the photos as a provocation and quickly deleted them, leaving no evidence on her phone. I can't show it now. But my instinct tells me this has something to do with that woman." I put on an innocent and wronged expression. Viv. I seem to have saved you. Even giving up my own husband for you. All so you could be happy with him. But you keep slandering me with empty words. Which is really hurting our sisterly bond and making me feel heartbroken. If you think hitting me will ease your anger, then go ahead. It's not the first time anyway. With that, I stepped forward and slapped her face. This is what you wanted. I didn't force you. Song Vivian looped, trying to slap me with her other free hand. Slap. The clear sound of a slap echoed, but there was no pain on my face as expected. Lou. Alex. You hit me. Song Vivian covered her swollen face, unable to believe what had happened. I hit you because you're an unreasonable harpy. I can see you're just taking advantage of Ellie being a pushover, bullying her time and time again. Last time you slandered her with lies and this time you slandered her again, spreading our private photos. Those photos were clearly taken from a selfie angle. If you hadn't taken them, how could they have been spread? The root cause is all because of you. Who has time to frame others? Why not spend more time reflecting on yourself? Lou. Alex gave me an apologetic glance. I didn't keep an eye on her and almost caused you trouble. I'm truly sorry. It's okay as long as Viv improves herself. I never expected divorce to have such an effect, bringing Lou. Alex's intelligence back to normal levels. In the past, he wouldn't even give me a chance to explain, let alone speak up for me. Song Vivian was forcibly dragged away. As she left, her gaze toward me was filled with hatred. Her mouth opened and closed, and I could vaguely make out the words she was mouthing. Eleanor, you just wait. The humiliation I endured today will be paid back to you tenfold. I gave her a playful smile. Instead of worrying about that, why not spend some time thinking about where you'll sleep tonight? What do you mean? Soon. Song Vivian realized what I meant. She had previously thought she was being forced to leave with nothing, but at least she had the property Lou. Alex had divided with her to fall back on. So her life wouldn't be too bad. But after getting the divorce certificate, she discovered that Lou. Alex had no property at all. And the two of them even needed to rent a place to live. What about the house? The car? And the money? The agreement I gave you clearly stated that she would leave with almost nothing. How could there be nothing left? I changed the agreement. So, I'm the one leaving with nothing. It was like a thunderclap. Song Vivian's expression froze. Her eyes widened in shock. Are you out of your mind? For that, woman, you're willing to give up everything and leave with nothing? Lou. Alex frowned, clearly displeased with Song Vivian's words. I'm starting to realize that you're the one targeting Ellie more. She's your sister and your savior. Can't you be nicer to her? How can I be nice? She took all the money. What are we supposed to live on after the divorce? Money can be earned again. I'm not incapable of that. Song Vivian thought about it and realized there was some truth to what he said. Lou. Alex worked at a major company, was highly valued by his boss, and already earned a six-figure salary. If he were to get promoted to management in the future, the family's income would only increase. Thinking about this, Song Vivian's dissatisfaction gradually subsided. Eleanor, don't get too cocky. Alex is about to get a promotion and a raise. Our current struggles are only temporary. Song Vivian was naturally a very competitive person. She had always secretly compared herself to her older sister. Whether it was appearance, academics, or social skills, she loved to compare herself to her sister. She was naturally intelligent, beautiful, and had a sweet tongue, so she easily excelled in these areas. Under such comprehensive comparisons, she increasingly believed that Song Jae was her inferior, someone who would never reach her level in life. But who would have thought she would suffer such a setback in marriage? When she chose Kevin, it was because of his wealthy background and family heritage. These were qualities that Lou. Alex, a college graduate from the countryside, could never match. After 2 years of a seemingly perfect marriage, Kevin started hanging out with the wrong crowd and developed a gambling addiction. This cost the family a fortune. While her own life grew increasingly miserable, Eleanor and Lou Alex's marriage flourished. It turned out that Lou Alex had landed a job at a major company after graduation, was promoted quickly, earned a six-figure salary, and bought a large house for his family. Eleanor, who had always dressed plainly and rarely wore jewelry, began to adorn herself with gold and silver ornaments. These were precisely the things Song Vivian was gradually losing, and she grew increasingly envious. Driven by jealousy, she began to harbor a sinister thought. She would seduce her own brother-in-law. In her previous life, she had used the excuse of a business trip to stay overnight at their home, but it was all a deliberate ploy. She wanted to use that opportunity to wear revealing, seductive clothes to test Lou Alex's feelings. So she waited until Eleanor and her daughter had gone to bed. That night, Lou Alex was working late. Song Vivian wore a sheer black lace nightgown and posed seductively in front of her phone camera. But after waiting for a long time, there was still no sign of Lou Alex returning. So she opened a bottle of wine to pass the time. But the alcohol was too strong. After a few glasses, her head started spinning and her brain felt swollen. She felt so miserable that she decided to go back to the guest room to rest. She thought she'd have other chances to test him later, and next time she'd be more careful not to drink so much. But she didn't know that night would be the last moment of her life. She was burned to death in the fire. Fortunately, heaven had mercy and gave her another chance at life, allowing her to fulfill the unfinished wishes of her previous life. This time, she would follow Lou Alex and live the life she had always wanted. Promotion and a raise. I laughed. Lou Alex still dared to dream of a good life. The scene of him personally poisoning me and my daughter to death was still vivid in my mind. Every time I woke up in the middle of the night, I was so angry I could bite my teeth off. At the time, my daughter was throwing a tantrum and refused to eat, so I had to eat first. That's when I noticed something was wrong with the food and realized it was Lou Alex who had tampered with it. I begged him to spare my daughter, even kneeling down and kowtowing to him. If you must blame someone, blame me. My daughter is so young. Please don't harm her. Spare her life. She's innocent. I beg you. If you're willing to spare her, I'll eat all the remaining food myself. Lou Alex choked me by the neck and said viciously, "She's the evil seed you bore. Just as wicked as you. She needs to be buried with my Vivian." My internal organs were already showing signs of poisoning, and I couldn't muster the strength to resist. I could only watch as he forced the poison soup into my daughter's mouth. I hated him with all my heart. From the moment I was reborn, I had made up my mind. No matter what, I would not let Lou Alex live comfortably. I had a weakness. If I was too assertive, I would be targeted. So, pretending to be weak and submissive was the best strategy to minimize the risks and safety issues Lou Alex posed to me. Now that he wasn't very vigilant toward me, it made it easier for me to act. As the promotion and pay raise deadline approaches, Lou Alex's competitors are all scrambling to find any dirt on him to secure their own positions. When I happened to mention to the wife of one of his rivals at the supermarket that Lou Alex had taken on private work in the past, I'm sure I didn't need to remind them. They already knew what to do. They will certainly continue their investigation and dig up evidence of his private work. When Lou Alex joined the company, he signed a non-compete agreement which strictly prohibits taking on private work, especially for competing companies. At the time, Lou Alex had no choice but to do it. He had just bought a house and his savings were almost gone. Additionally, his mother fell seriously ill and needed money urgently. Lou Alex had no other option but to take on private work to cover the medical and surgery expenses. Later his mother recovered and Lou Alex promptly stopped taking on private work to avoid further losses. Few people were aware of the situation. However, with some investigative efforts, it would not be impossible to uncover evidence. Shortly thereafter, Lou Alex was terminated for violating company regulations, shattering his dreams of promotion and a raise. His former company was one of the top firms in the country, and this negative record is likely impossible to erase. Large and medium-sized companies dare not hire such individuals anymore. So, Lou Alex had no choice but to lower his standards and take a job at a small or medium-sized enterprise. The wages and benefits at a small company naturally cannot compare to those of a large company. It is said that he can barely earn over 10,000 yuan a month. Now, after marrying Lou Alex, Vivian did not go to work and stayed at home as a freeloader. She knows nothing about the hardships of life, the cost of living, or the value of money. And she does not sympathize with Lou Alex's hard work. She spends freely using Lou Alex's credit card. Already burdened by mortgage payments, Song Vivian has now added credit card debt, driving Lou Alex to domestic violence. Some of Song Vivian's expenditures are from unclear sources, leading creditors to come knocking on the door. Lou Alex had no choice but to accept his fate, borrowing money and taking on extra jobs to pay off Song Vivian's debts. Just when he finally paid off one debt, Son Vivian, that spendthrift woman, secretly accumulated more debt. Lou Alex could only resign himself to repeating his miserable life. That day was particularly unlucky. When my daughter was hospitalized, I happened to run into Lou Alex while he was registering at the hospital. Upon seeing me, his weary eyes lit up and his gaze grew earnest. "Ellie, why are you at the hospital? Are you sick or is your daughter sick?" I nodded gently. "She had a high fever last night. Let me go with you to see her. She probably needs some fatherly care right now." I smiled and shook my head. My daughter is a bit shy around strangers. Lou Alex's eyes widened. "I'm her father. How could she not recognize me?" "Alex. When we parted, she wasn't even 2 years old. Now she's almost 4. That's right. How much can a child over a year old remember?" Over the past 2 years, Lou Alex had been busy making money and hadn't had time to visit his so-called daughter. How dare he still expect the child to remember him? "I'll make sure to spend more time with her when I have the chance." I shook my head. "No need. She's already chosen a new father for herself. If you truly care about her, it's best if you don't come bother us anymore." He followed my gaze and saw a man walking into the ward. Inside, the room suddenly filled with the clear, joyful voice of a child. "Gang, Dad, did you bring me something delicious?" Lou Alex's face immediately twisted in pain. I pretended not to notice his suffering and continued to rub salt into his wounds. "Alex, when we divorced, it was you who pleaded with me to find the child a new father as soon as possible." Lou Alex's lips trembled and his expression grew even more pained. "Ellie, I think I regret it." Before he could utter those disgusting words, I pointed behind us at the woman rushing toward us with an angry expression. Then I quickly left the scene to avoid getting caught up in the chaos. Song Vivian grabbed Lou Alex by the ear and shouted angrily. "I told you to make an appointment for me, but you wasted so much time. Turns out you were here having an affair with your ex-wife. How was the chat? Are you two planning to rekindle your old flame?" Lou Alex's gaze toward her was no longer gentle. It was filled with disgust and contempt. "Do you think everyone is as eager to seduce other people's husbands as you are? What's wrong with seducing you? If you're so high and mighty, why didn't you resist? Don't act like you're some kind of saint." Song Vivian yanked his ear forcefully and dragged him away. "I'm carrying your Alexander family's flesh and blood in my womb. If you don't treat me better, I'll kill myself and take both of us with me, leaving the Alexander family without an heir." Upon hearing this, Lou Alex immediately backed down. Fine. I'm sorry." Their married life was never peaceful, with arguments becoming a daily occurrence. It wasn't until Song Vivian became pregnant that their relationship began to improve, slowly taking on the feel of a family. Song Vivian snorted coldly. "I won't allow you to go looking for that woman. Eleanor. Again. I didn't go looking for her. I just happened to run into her at the hospital. It was a complete accident. If you see her again, just go around her. The thought of her scent on you makes me and our son feel sick. Hearing my words, Lou Alex could no longer maintain his composure. His mother had someone specifically check, and it was almost certain. The place where they were from was more traditional, with backward feudal ideas and a strong preference for sons over daughters. The family had always hoped for a boy. Eleanor didn't give him a son. And whenever they returned to their hometown, they were constantly criticized by their relatives. If Song Vivian could really give birth to a boy this time, they could finally hold their heads high when they returned to their hometown. Upon hearing this, he immediately abandoned his earlier feelings for Eleanor. All right. I promise. Even if I see her on the street, I'll turn my head and walk away. I won't even acknowledge her. As if I wanted to acknowledge you. After seeing you today, I'll have to jump over a fire pit when I get home to ward off bad luck. Lou Alex didn't get the happy ending he expected. He died suddenly from overwork. He took on a lot of side jobs to make money, working overtime every night after work to finish them. This took a huge toll on his health. He didn't die on the job, so he couldn't claim workers' compensation. The company discovered his side jobs and made him pay a fine. Song Vivian was also reported to have died. It was Lou Alex's mother who did it. She believed it was all Song Vivian's fault for being so extravagant and demanding, forcing her son to work himself to death. So, she bought rat poison from the street and mixed it into the food. Song Vivian ate it without knowing and died from poisoning. After her daughter-in-law died, Lou Alex's mother had no more attachments. So she finished the poison soup and joined her beloved son. When I heard this news, I felt a surge of relief. The great vengeance of the past life had been avenged. After a night of spring breeze, the grass sprouted green shoots, and all things were reviving. I held my daughter's hand and walked down the street. Her clear bell-like laughter pierced my eardrums, making me feel incredibly happy. From now on, let's walk hand in hand together, mother and daughter.